Yeah.
Because there are valid ones.
Before we get started, council, I would like to do an addition to the agenda, if it's agreeable, to unfinished business. D, code compliance officer, action required. Any objections to that addition? Would like to do Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
August 9, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Any corrections? Approval?
I make a motion we accept the town council meeting for August 9th, 2022.
It's moved and seconded to approve the August 9th, 2022 regular meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. All right, first item of unfinished business is SJ Environmental. So, I don't know, do you want to present any more, take any more questions?
Well, I mean, I feel like we presented quite a bit, last week, and I feel like there was a lot of good questions asked, and I hope that we were able to answer quite a bit. If you guys do have more questions, I'm here now to answer anything you got. Yes, ma'am?
Could you give us a summary of what happened for those of us that weren't there?
Yeah, so, we spoke about what our company can provide for the city as far as water and wastewater operations, putting together operations plans, and also helping train a staff. Hopefully there's somebody here that is wanting to take on a new position as a water or wastewater operator, and we can provide training to anybody here, and we can provide a damn good service for the community as well. It's just a clear overview of what our statement is.
How does that differ from what we have now?
How does it differ? I would say that we would be here, our contract states we would be here anywhere from 2 to 3 days a week. And that all depends on what the city wants, I don't know exactly what it is that the city's looking for. It'd be 1 to 2 days a week, but it's more coverage, and we provide a lot more, I would say, diverse scope of services for the community themselves, meaning
And your
that,
employees are certified?
I'm sorry?
Your employees are certified?
I am the employee, I'm the owner-operator.
Okay.
Myself and my partner are we're both
And your
owner-operators.
credentials are?
I'm a wastewater operator 3, licensed in the state of Washington with a level 1 operator, water operator licensed in the state of Washington. My partner's a level 4 wastewater operator in the state of Washington. He also holds water licenses in the state as well. I've been in water and wastewater now for the past 12 years of my career. My partner's been in it for over 30 years. You know, we just want to make sure that the community themselves are provided with a service that, you know, makes them feel secure about what their water, you know, their water systems themselves, as well as their wastewater systems as well. I know you guys have a brand new wastewater system that you guys have had built. It's beautiful. It just looks like it needs a little bit of tender love and care, honestly. And, you know, it sounds like there's some issues with some wells. Now, whether we provide a second opinion, we could do that. We also said we would provide a free basic walkthrough of the system to give you an evaluation of your wells and your wastewater system too. I mean, we are more than happy to do that for your community. So it gives you guys an idea of what it is that you're looking for or looking at. I mean, I can't tell you just by the questions themselves. It's something that I'd have to see with my own eyes to be able to diagnose and troubleshoot. It's just, you guys can tell me anything and everything you want without me actually seeing it myself. There's not much I can actually do.
And you had said at the meeting, you're pretty confident you can go in and see if there's like lack of maintenance or certain issues that could be an easy fix, for instance. Like you're pretty proficient at doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've done
Yeah.
my whole career for a year and a half. I tore down and rebuilt water and wastewater systems. I oversaw 150 water and wastewater systems all throughout Louisiana and Texas, and that's all I did. I would tear them down, and I would build them back up again, diagnose, troubleshoot, write operations plan, write sampling plans. You know, I ran an entire company. It's just what I do. I mean, and we're talking about one system here, one water, one wastewater. And if you guys need references, I mean, the city of Pomeroy, for example, we're doing work with them right now. If you guys need a reference, you know, the public works director, the superintendent of that system said that he would gladly give us a flying reference as to what our services are, what we've done to help them with their wastewater system. So, you know, I'm not here to be a miracle worker, but I can tell you this, I know I can turn systems around and turn them around quickly.
And you're certified to do so.
Certified to do so, correct, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
The other thing you mentioned was, never mind, can't remember now.
Okay, no problem. So, I mean, if it's a second opinion you guys are looking for, like I said, we'd gladly come in, do a free evaluation, check your guys' systems out, and give you guys a professional overview of what is going on in your water and wastewater systems, if you guys are here.
We would team up with other communities. It wouldn't be.
Surprised at how many communities just don't have certified operators at their disposal, you know, and nobody's really getting into the career field as it is anyway. So, it's just it's a professional set of eyes to have on your system, and we're working with a lot of communities as of right now. We only have one contract. I gotta be honest with you, we only have one contract right now, but there's a lot more in the works. We've spoken to a lot of communities that are very, very much want us to come in and do the same thing you guys are asking from us.
They said we went to talk to Cusick last week, how did that go?
You know, Cusick went well. They have a surface water treatment facility that the PUD is running right now. Cusick is wanting to keep their water system. The PUD wants to buy it. They still want to keep their water system for themselves. They're holding out to the end of the year, but we sent a proposal for their wastewater system. I've got a meeting set up with St. John on Tuesday of next week to go over their I think they have one of the last trickling filters in the state of Washington, which
cost for your team?
It would depend on exactly what it is that you need. You know, I mean, if you tell us what you need, we provide you with a scope, or we provide you a proposal off of the scope that we, sorry, sir.
Oh, it's all right. So I remember in the last meeting, and I know you brought it up again, as far as the training, you guys would be willing to train the employees that we have working for us now, but you said also if other people had time to get involved, whether it be council members or anybody else that would be interested in getting more involved in that training also, so in case something happened per se and our town employees weren't there. Okay, I'll throw myself out there, I could come help troubleshoot some issues or whatever if nobody else was available, so it's not just, you're only gonna train one person or something, it's whoever basically would be interested in getting some of the training would be able to, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, actually. So, I mean, I love to talk water and wastewater, I mean, to anybody who's willing to learn. So, I don't care who shows up and wants to learn about it. I'll teach anybody who's willing to learn. It's a great career field. I mean, and also helps out communities in need, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you really care about your community, care about the water and wastewater aspect, a lot of people just watch the water go down the drain, whether it's through their toilet or their sink, and they don't think otherwise, but, you know, there is a need for operators out there, so, yeah, absolutely, anybody, really, I'll teach anybody willing to learn.
Did I miss something at the last meeting? Did you say that you were not Washington certified on water?
No, we're certified.
Are you?
Yes, ma'am, yeah, I'm a certified water operator in the state of
Okay.
Washington.
I misunderstood that.
Yeah, no, and also, I mean, I do have a contract operator that I work with, who I actually trained, in Quincy, that, wants to help us if we needed more water certifications than what I have. I'm currently getting more certifications, depending on the size of the community, you know, it depends on population size served and how large the actual water distribution system is, as to what license pertains to what. But, you know, I do have a lot of different people that I work with throughout the state that I've met over the years in my career. So does my partner. So if it's licenses you're looking for, yeah, we do have them.
What's your schedule look like as far as, say, we would like you guys to come in and do that, I'll call it the free walk around day or whatever, but,
Sure.
and go through our stuff,
So
if we can make this
I'm
happen.
free Monday through Wednesday and Fridays. Thursday I have to be in Pomeroy to help them with their testing. They do their own in-house testing. They have a lab, a certified lab. That's another thing. I mean, I drove by your guys' wastewater system there. Is there an actual lab set up inside of there? You guys know?
Yeah, there is,
There's a lab in there?
yeah.
Okay. Is it certified? You guys know?
Maybe I could answer some of your questions.
Sure.
I'm Casey, I'm the actual wastewater treatment plant officer.
Hi, Casey. How you doing?
Nice to meet you. So, I've been working here for 5 years, and, we have an employee, I've been through several employees actually that wanted to be trained in the water and wastewater system, and including the current one who's studying for his test. So, I guess I'm kind of confused as to what the town's lacking in what they already have.
Transparency,
Transparency how?
that we had no idea that there was issues, other than getting a note on our board.
Issues with what?
Water.
Now, I'm the wastewater operator, so I can't speak to water operations. We have a different water.
Are you here? I've never seen you before.
Yeah, I'm here, I'm right here.
Well, I understand you're right there, but I'm wondering, how often are you here?
I come as often as the town needs me, and they operate on a shoestring budget, as you know. So, while the proposal being given to you is great, it's gonna cost you a lot more money than what you're currently paying.
But it's
So
free.
how much do you get a
It's
month?
free, it's not
It's,
free.
he said a free quote. to let
A
us
free
know.
quote, yes, but his services aren't
But
free.
you're the manager?
I'm the wastewater treatment plant operator.
So Joe is,
Certified contract
Joe is the
operator.
manager then? Because he was the, on my paperwork that I got, it says,
Joe is the
Wastewater
water operator. Yes, Joe's the water operator.
so we have two.
Correct, we have one for water and one for wastewater.
So how much do you make and how many hours do you monitor from your home?
I have a base rate of $600 a month, and I'm 24/7, 365. So I come out as needed. The trips can cost money depending on what is needed from me.
So you're paid mileage as well, to come from?
I just get
Missouri?
paid hourly.
And then Joe gets paid, correct, to come from Spokane, or I don't
I don't
Plumber,
know
Idaho.
shows.
Plumber, Idaho, $65 an hour, and mileage for him.
And where are you coming from?
Well, you have Steven though, and he works for the town, and he's in training to become a certified operator.
I
so-
believe it takes 2 years to do that, correct?
Correct, it does, and there's been many offers from people on the council over the 5 years I've worked here for people to be trained, and no one steps up to do it, so.
Mike, have you been offered?
Joe lives in Rockford.
It's
Has
still
anybody-
the same.
So Mike hasn't been offered training, he said? Were you offered training?
I guess, Sam, what services would you provide then otherwise?
Well,
Answer her
I
question.
mean, that's great that you're the operator, but,
Were you
I mean, these guys
offered?
do have a brand new facility out there.
It's not brand new.
It looks abandoned, I mean, honestly, and I'm not trying to push anything off on you, I'm not, I mean, you probably do a great job, I'm just trying to provide a
Yeah, I
service.
do, I've been doing it for 22 years as a
That's fantastic.
contract operator all over the state of Washington, so.
That's great, that's great,
Yeah.
that's great, and I'm not trying to badmouth anybody here, but all I'm trying to
It
say
didn't
is that.
sound like it because you actually went into City Hall and told them that I wasn't doing well in other towns, and London right there said I was fired from other towns, so I'd like to know where that came
I
from.
didn't tell anybody you were fired.
Well, it
I
was in
remember
the
that.
city council minutes from last time.
Oh,
Was it?
I was at a council meeting last time, and it wasn't said.
They are
Watch the
recorded,
video, you
yeah,
can
they're
watch
on
the
video.
whole thing.
Yeah, that's true, that
I never said
is true.
anything about anyone getting fired, okay? And all I'm trying to do here is
We
provide a
asked
service,
him to come here
okay?
as a community.
That's fine, but you know
Because-
what? You're gonna pay a lot more than you're
We're
paying.
not saying we're paying him.
That's your opinion.
Stop.
That's not my opinion.
Guys, no, we're not gonna go back and forth. No, we're not going back and forth. We are here for information, okay?
That's
And
what he's here for, so he's being attacked and he shouldn't be attacked. We
Your
asked him to
operator's
come here.
attacked.
No, she needs to be.
That's not right.
The operator's been attacked. They said I was fired from other towns.
I never.
One person said you were fired and it was him.
You brought that up.
He's the one that said you were
Yeah,
fired.
it's been-
He was, and he got offered $35 an hour
I
to
was
get her job.
propositioned by the Department of Ecology.
Because she
That's
was doing her
That's it,
job.
and that's all I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to go to
Ecology
you.
doesn't proposition contract operators.
Okay,
It's
well-
against what they do. So if they did that, it's a matter of public
I guess
record.
that's hearsay from whatever you.
Well, it's not hearsay, it's actually the facts, because I've been a
Who's
contract
the fact?
operator
I
for
mean,
22 years.
are you making the
So
facts?
I know that ecology does not proposition people to go to
That's
town
fine. Hey,
and have them.
I'm just here because this community, I came here to.
How can you keep
I
allowing
gave a
your operators
presentation,
to
and that was it, I gave a presentation, and it sounds like these people are wanting something new, and that's it.
Mayor, you should be calling it
And it's not
order.
even necessarily you, it's a, we want an extra.
They don't know how.
A second opinion, you go to the doctor to get diagnosed with lupus, you don't just take it, sometimes you wanna get a second
And it's
opinion.
not just on you, it's the whole community of this whole town, so everybody has an opinion, and everybody would like a
Which I
second
apologize
opinion.
for you
If
getting.
there's anyone in this
asked
room
me.
that doesn't want it, they should speak up now, let's take a vote.
I was expecting you to be here, and I know there's been a lot of talk that I've been saying bad things about you.
Well, it's in the council minutes.
It's, might be in the minutes, but watch that video right there, that's on YouTube. I didn't say anything bad about you, okay? All I said was that I can provide a service, and a damn good service at that, okay? And I can be here as often as these people need, and that's all up to the city. If they want me here 1 to 3 days a week, that's fine, but
Well, what if
I
they
mean,
want
judging
you
by
no
the- what
days
the-
a week? Because
what?
that's all they can afford.
what'd you say?
What if they want you no days a week because
That's
that's
for
what
them
they
to
can afford?
decide.
And at least he came in, gave us a
That's
second
who's
opinion, and
deciding, not you.
well,
So,
maybe there needs to be some presence in other areas so they can
we
pay
can
him.
let go Joe, we
okay, we
can
have a hand up.
get someone recent.
Another question?
oh, okay,
Not being rude, I just, you can sit down.
sure.
You will probably like this anyway.
Yep.
So listen, what I'm hearing is that somebody called in and requested that another company come out and give an opinion. Opinions are free. So do your opinion, give it to the council. If it's free now, if your opinion and walkthrough and proposal and everything that you do is free, then do that for the town. Provide them with a proposal, allow the town council to look at it and make a decision. They're the ones that can see the budget, They're the ones that know where the money goes, and if they have the money to do something better, that's fine. But as far as a town person, I know what's coming. If it's more expensive, and you all on the council can correct me if I'm wrong, my water bill will go up, right? Because the water bill will probably go up because these services might be more expensive. So I think we all need to get his proposal, understand what he's saying, the council needs to review it, and make a decision on where they can cut in the budget or where they can't. And if we have to stick with what we have because we can't afford a new service and a new system, then that's the way it is. But I'm sorry, he gets to do his proposal, it's presented to the council, done deal. We shouldn't even be talking about it anymore. Get the proposal, give it to the council, and let them discuss it. Period, end of discussion.
And then I have something to add to that. One thing, I have a question to the council. Who do you work for?
People. Work for the people.
Who do you work for?
Towns.
From the town.
You work for who? The town, the people of the town, or do you work for the mayor?
I work for the people of the town, but I do have a budget.
You work for the people of the town. She is your leader. We have an opinion and we should be allowed to voice it.
Okay.
That's all I want to say on that note.
So let's get the proposal, we don't need to talk about it anymore, and you guys will have to make that decision based upon what you know of the budget of the town. And if you feel that you have to raise bills or whatever.
SJ Environmental is a legitimate business that offers water and wastewater operating services to small communities. I know Ecology communicates with them about operator needs for small communities, and that SJ is in communication with some small communities about their needs, and at least one contract with a small town. So she must be referring to Pomeroy. Okay, that being said, state agencies cannot recommend private consultants, and Commerce does or has not recommended any private consultants to lend. That's Claire Miller out of Department of Commerce. And Department of Health, Jamie Clark, says, I have not spoken with Mr. Sneed or Mr. Faber or anyone else at SJ regarding the town of Lynn. I have not been in contact with them regarding any of my water systems, and I haven't heard their names come up from any of my coworkers. I'll second what Claire said. As a state agency, we cannot recommend a specific private company work with a water system. It concerns me that they said we recommended their services for Lynn. And another Department of Health, Andy Cervantes. I don't recognize the names provided and did not provide any recommendations for operations to anyone. If I do provide recommendations, it is to the water systems who ask for recommendations, and it is at least 3 names for organizations. So that was my research on that.
So, I mean, you're saying names that I've never heard of before, not that there's different regions in different areas.
Correct,
You know.
but I just did a blank,
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, and I don't,
So-
I never said the Department of Commerce recommended me to come here. I said I came here because I had family ties here. That's why I came
Oh,
here.
okay, I thought it was said from before.
The community wanted me to come here to give a proposal. That was it. And then I came here and answered some questions. You know, and I came here and I got to meet, Cassie here, and I kind of figured I'd run into her eventually. And, you know, Cassie, I've heard that you're upset with me, and I'm sorry if that's how it came across. I was not bad mouthing you. I never said that you were fired.
When
I never
towns
said
come to
anything.
me and tell me that you told them that to get your foot in the door, yeah, it's upsetting. Well, it's not you that told you that. You're hearing it from me.
Guys.
Council needs to make a vote as to whether these
Excuse me,
guys.
we're not done with the discussion. Myra, do you have anything? Or, no, you had your hand up.
No,
No, okay, Myra, did you have any?
I don't already said what I said.
Oh, okay. Mike, do you have anything?
I'd just like to know when he can come in and at least give us his free observation or proposal.
And Robert?
I'm saying, Mike, we need to set the price.
Okay.
I mean, it's free, it's not gonna cost us anything, so what's that gonna hurt to have a second opinion, I guess, kinda like what was said earlier, it's not gonna hurt anything.
Okay, and,
I think it hurts us more if we object to it.
right,
Go ahead, I'm
throw
sorry.
something out here at you. What gives you the idea that we are in trouble, that we need extra, that we need
Well,
an
we can start with
evaluation?
notices like this.
Wow.
Oh my
Anybody who seems to have an issue, raise your hands, for heaven's sake.
I mean, no, I'm just, we can start with the water issue right now, because it's not all about the waste
Right.
water treatment, we know there's issues there. But I mean, do I need to bring up a different example?
Letters on doors saying watch our water, doesn't that mean we're in trouble?
As far as
Is that
like,
not notifying the public?
you can't
We got a facility operator here that you could just dive right into her experience, so.
And I'm not saying we can't, but
It
why are you
You know-
so against somebody else coming in and giving
No,
us
I'm just
an
throwing.
opinion?
I don't think you need to continue to put people on the
Excuse me.
spot. We have asked for these
You
people.
are out of order, and that is the first time. 2 more.
You do not need
You
to
have
put him on the
anything,
spot like
Robert?
that.
I'm the same about it, I think we should have a second opinion.
Okay, for what reason?
Doesn't matter.
That is what
matter.
they asked.
I've been reading a lot of figures on the downs permit and that stuff, and it is gone by.
Okay,
That figure has been the same since the last 5 years. It hasn't gone down under 400, maybe 350 years, some still they're not below that. That bubble was worth.
guys,
We
excuse
can't hear
me.
him.
How about you work for them and you just do what you're told instead of questioning them and making them give you reasons why they want something done?
Exactly.
Robert.
They just said they wanted
That's my
it done.
opinion now. With those reasons, I don't think that's a water issue where the water's drying up. I really don't. And I do think we need a second.
Okay. On the aquifer? Or
It's
what? Right now, we're doing wastewater, correct?
No,
You're
they're
doing
doing
water as well? Okay.
We're doing water.
He's gonna check out everything, it's not just wastewater, it's gonna be both.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to have a second opinion.
Heather?
So I just wonder how much of this could have been prevented as a preventative measure, just understanding the basic mechanics and how things work regarding our pumps and other facilities. I think preventative measures could have been taken to prevent this. So maybe that's
Okay,
what his goal is to help us operate it and prevent the issues from happening again.
Okay. And so, again, you're saying preventive. Is there a broken something?
We don't know, you haven't told us.
We have a pump that's done. We're in an emergency.
So, I just want to say that I don't care if you guys get 2 opinions or 10 opinions and evaluations and bids to run the water and wastewater system. I don't care about that. But the fact of the matter is that you have people here that are doing the work, and they have offered to train the employees, and they have offered to come down more often. And it's not something that's in the town's budget to do. And so I myself operate on a very limited scale out here because you can't afford to pay me thousands of dollars a month. You need that money to be putting in the infrastructure, etc. If the plant is operating, then it's doing fine. If the water needs addressed, what's that?
Then why were we sent notices, and why was there?
But you're talking about wastewater. right?
Correct, I am familiar with your water system though, because I've been working with Joe for a long time. So there's deficiencies in the infrastructure, and there's always water restrictions all over the state at this time of year, always.
Okay.
So
all of our
it's-
stuff's in great.
Wasn't last year after fire.
No, I'm not saying that, but you do have deficiencies that need to be addressed. These things do not get fixed overnight.
Why haven't they been fixed since it came up in 2016?
Well, they need money for one thing. So the money has to be found through grants and
Or
things like
farmers,
that.
like we have farmers, like for instance, I'll throw out there the Grams. He is willing to come in, he's worked on pumps, he's worked on his own well.
But not when
Why can't
she's
we have-
there.
Why can't we
Yes,
have
but you
community
need-
members?
You need the money to.
Drill well for free. So you're saying that
Your qualified water operator pursues grants, yes, he does.
Excuse me, I can't hear the conversation.
Joe does pursue grants to fix
We're
infrastructure.
in
Yes.
trouble. 2 fires, 2 years in a row, blocks from our house, dry sagebrush, evergreens all around. Nothing proactive by the town to do anything to remove hazardous materials around the town, in the alleyway, and no water to protect your homes. That's a problem.
It is a problem, you are correct, but we have to come up with the money to fix the infrastructure first.
And with that being said, I brought that up about, actually, Mr. Nielsen was on the phone, and that's also in the meetings, and I asked, why aren't we doing something about all the sewer pipes before we're getting grants to go across it? His exact words from that meeting were, getting grants for sewer lines and going through the Department of Health and all of that is harder, so we need to get the grants we can get and get the streets paved. That is asinine. You don't build a house with no foundation. So
I
it's
don't
like,
write grants, there's lots of places that assist with that.
so I'm just saying that there's been a lot of things through these years. I've been here for 30 years, and that's gonna really date me right now. My parents were here before that. There's a lot of things that I've not ever seen this many people at a city council meeting, and it's been like this pretty consistent. That says something. There's some changes that need to be made. We're in a mess.
Water restrictions are always concerning for the community, I would agree with that.
And if we, and maybe that's not just on you, and it's certainly not even on our employees. I don't think that they are given the proper tools to even do what it is that they're supposed to be doing. I think that there is some stuff here that, and if it's budget, then we need to rework the budget. Maybe we don't need some of these positions filled and we can put our money to better use. At this point, we have,
Okay,
we have a lot of,
But Jim was here, and Myra was here, and they knew that they were welcome to come be trained at any time if someone wants to work for free. But they don't, that's the reality.
So when was, my question is,
Our mayor has not asked, right now,
If you would like to come work with me for free, you are more than
That's
welcome.
what I'm saying. I'm saying you call up Kurt Grams right now, and she were to actually tell him we're in a rut spot and I need help. Not for her, because he's made that very clear, but for our community, he would come and he would do anything for our community.
Is he gonna drill a well though for free?
So
I mean,
what
you have to
I'm saying
secure
is
the
that-
property, you have to.
You're saying
there's
there's
pieces of that pump up there that aren't even assembled.
Okay, but I think a big issue, a lot of us.
I'm not the water operator.
Hey, can I just say this real quick? We have had no transparency. All we got was saying groundwater saved and now don't water your lawns. We have no idea what's happening. No one tells us, no one will tell us. When we ask, we put in a personal request, it doesn't get answered.
With everybody talking, we can't hear.
And you're saying, at this point, do we know what's wrong? Because you're saying you're in charge and Joe's in charge and Steve's in charge.
Joe is the
Do we
water
know-
operator.
So do we know
I am
what's
the
wrong?
wastewater
Why
operator,
are
and
we
Steve
concerned
Nelson
about
is your city
Well, you
engineer.
went back to
Do we know what's wrong?
2016,
If
and
you-
it's not even mayor that we tried.
No, one at a time. One at a time,
So my
please.
question is, what's wrong? Where are we at? What are the problems? We don't know.
I'm
So
not.
it's frustrating, and if that's your job, and you're not doing Joe's job, then why haven't we been notified?
I'm the
Why haven't
wastewater
there been, there's been no.
Guys,
Is there an answer to her question? Okay. You know me, I hold everybody accountable. Is there an answer to her question? What is wrong with the pump, or whatever it is? What is wrong with it, honestly? That we have to stop using our water? What is wrong with it? Can we answer, can anybody on the council answer that question? Can the mayor answer?
in well 7, we have aquifer problems. Okay, the actual well, when it was working with that fire last year, constant, it needed a rest because of the, excuse me.
Water.
When you ask for a question,
just let her answer.
Well, answer intelligently, wells don't rest. If the
Yes,
well
they
needs
do.
to
We
be
don't
shut
have
down,
water.
You
have
they
to
don't rest,
recover.
Joe.
They have to recharge
Cheryl,
their static
you have to
water levels, so they do-
recover.
They do
Okay,
have to take.
wells need recovery, please say
Okay,
it right, because
sorry.
it's upsetting, not the people here. There's men all over town that are just mocking you guys because of the wordings. Please use it correctly.
Okay.
Thank you. Over here.
I don't have a question or anything like that, but the way I figure it, okay, we ain't God, okay? If we have to do a new well, cause God, we took it all, okay, it's gone. Out of that aquifer, it's gone, okay? We can't make more water, okay? There are communities all the way around here, surrounding counties, that are on the same restrictions that we are right now.
Where?
Odessa, yes it is.
They
I looked it up.
They sent out notices to the public not to water their
Holly,
lawns and did restrictions.
Holly, they did it all, I looked it up
Who made
online.
the decision to sell all the water last year?
That is not my
But the
thing.
aquifer, this isn't about God, this is about irresponsible usage. Who
Okay.
made the
Okay,
decision?
okay, I completely understand that. I am completely, whatever, it is what it is, but it's done. So, it's already done. We have to go from here to that way.
But you can't.
You can't
But
backtrack.
once your trust is, you put people in a place where you think they're caring for your best interest and you don't feel like that's done, you don't just go, okay, I'm just gonna move on and give the same people that same kind of trust again. That's
not what I'm saying. Okay, if you don't trust all these people, have that, fire every single freaking one of them. Not my problem.
We can't do
But
that.
my problem is,
We've tried.
we,
We're trying to make an effort to get rid of people that aren't doing their jobs. but we
Well,
have eyes.
Never can let her finish.
That's nonsense. But what I'm saying is, up there, well 7 and well 8, they are trying their freaking badasses to get water out of it. And they're trying to figure out the best way to do it, and the quickest way to do it. I mean, my sunflowers are dying. I don't like this idea, you know, but it is what it is. And like I said, we can't backtrack. We have to start from now and go that direction.
Right, so when we start from
We
now
need to make-
and move that direction, we need to make sure it's in the correct direction this time.
That's what I'm saying.
And don't do
okay?
the same mistakes twice.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
They're
What's in the
council
past,
have to make the decisions. They're
What's-
the council.
what is in the past is in
I
the
have,
past.
several times.
So the people that you have now, whatever, pick and choose, I don't care. But don't be an ass, you know?
No, we're
because,
not picking on the workers.
No, we're
We're not
not.
blaming
No,
the
I'm
workers.
talking everybody.
I think everybody's just not for it because we want them.
We just need to start from here, okay? Get over it, start from here, and go that freaking direction, okay? That already happened.
I think we're trying to go that direction. We're just trying to make sure that we're going that way in the correct direction this time.
Yes, we wanna go back into
Because
the
you learn from
positive
your
way.
mistakes, right?
What's that?
So you learn from mistakes.
Some people.
Well, and
Some people
I'd like
do.
to think we do. So we want to make sure if we're moving forward to do some of this stuff again, because, you know, obviously, everybody in this room has already heard my song and dance. I've lost more than watering every other day. I lost a whole lot more than that. And my recovery is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So for me, moving forward is to make sure that we're taking care of what we have and doing it in a proper sense of doing so. And that is not repeating the same mistakes twice.
That's why I said, we can't do with the past is done. We go that direction. And how we do that, we all come into a freaking community and we talk about it, and we have
If
that.
this gentleman gives us a second opinion, and he comes back and he says that we could fix this and this, and hey, I can get Kenny and Steven, and we could do this, and we see a problem here, that would be beneficial for everybody.
No,
don't
I
know
did
what
not
that's
have a
gonna hurt.
problem with, I think her name was Scott, right?
Sam.
Sam, sorry, I had the S right. No, I don't have a problem with him coming in, you know, especially for free, sorry, you know. Coming in and evaluating, go down there and do that nasty stuff, I ain't doing it, you can do it. You know, go down there and do that and come back and be like, all right, this is a deal. And they can sit and evaluate it, and we can all sit and evaluate it together, and we either do yes or no,
I'm just not sure why we would be threatened by anybody trying to offer us help when it's not costing us anything and we can.
That's why I said, I
obviously,
mean, if
you
he's
know-
gonna go down there.
No, I'm not directing that to you. I'm not
I'm
directing
just
that
trying
to
to
you.
figure out what day we can get him to come in here and
Right,
get this done.
I'm not sure why that would be
You
so
said Monday,
threatening.
Tuesday, Wednesday?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday, why don't we go tomorrow?
Denise, you have your hand up.
Well, I wanted to comment on Cassie saying that there's no budget for her to come more often. We just hired Henry for $15,000 and you came up with the money to do that. I wanted to comment that well 8, back in 2015, I think it was, we recased well 7, Paula. You were on council, do you recall that? Paula?
I'd have to go back in my little notes.
We recased the well at well 7, which means you have to pull the pump out, which means the entire town was running on well 8 with no water issues whatsoever for several weeks while we redid well 7. So why you guys are pretending that it would be too hard on well 8 to do that doesn't make sense, because it's already been done. You can look up how many weeks that well was down. It took a long time to get the air conditioner. I remember that was a big issue, getting the air conditioner for that little shack up there. And it took a long time. And I think that's terrible for you guys to be playing these games. And then you talk about the well rejuvenating. The water never comes back up in August. It comes back up in the spring. So why you're telling people, and the issue is not the water, it is the pump flow. And Steve Nelson said that. So that means it's a pump issue. So you guys aren't giving the proper information, and I'm really tired of this.
Okay, I'm done with the budget thing. We're all concerned about the finances of everything and stuff, but I do recall, Miss Judy, last council meeting, you sold all this water.
Where's the money?
Where's the money? I would think from the time she asked the question to now, tonight's meeting, something should be able to be answered
And I
to
asked
that
also how many
question,
gallons
to maybe
were sold.
help the public here, where those finances are going. And why can't they go back into maintenance or any part of our well?
Oh, pretty much they do. They
Do
go
you-
back
do
into
you
the
have-
water
You said
fund.
last meeting that people didn't pay their water bill, and that's where that money maybe possibly went. That's not the right answer.
Did you get the total for me?
I mean, I think that would also
Okay.
ease a lot of people's minds here. Maybe.
How much was it, Barbara?
639,975 gallons.
Holy
639.
And that was potable and non-potable water from well 6.
Well, 6?
Or, I'm sorry, from pump 6.
I have a question. Where's that money been appropriated and is there any left in reserve?
Non-potable.
Yep, your turn.
I just want to say, knowledge is power. The man's coming offering to come in and offer some knowledge, let him do it for free. That's nothing, in no way degrading me.
I'm not saying that.
I'll say this, I work on a farm, we rebuild tractors, rebuild combines. I've walked past broken bolts, my coworker walks past a broken bolt, and then the third guy catches it. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person, it just means that you didn't notice something that maybe somebody else can. He'll write us a report, he'll give us some information for free. And I've heard your speech. I've heard your speech.
That's why you have an engineer, she tells you what your deficiencies are, you're already paying someone. But they haven't.
Okay, but she says maintenance isn't being done on our facilities because they don't need it. What's your fault? Why is the maintenance not being done on our?
Okay, we have a hand up. Your conversations, please be quiet. Cheryl.
639,000 gallons?
No.
$639,000.
Gallons.
639,000 gallons.
Gallons. What did that come to in money?
I didn't figure that out.
That was
I
the
asked for the
question.
money.
Yeah, she asked for the cost.
That was the question.
I asked for the cost and the amount that was sold.
All I got from all the talk that was going on,
No,
all I got
No, I
written
specifically asked
down
you
was
and you wrote it
gallons.
down.
No, she
She
asked,
said funds multiple times.
she said
Okay.
gallons.
All I figured out was gallons.
Well, we could do that.
If you
real
want,
quick.
if you
right.
want more information, I have public records request forms.
Of course.
And the other question I have is,
I mean, when whoever sufficient, I mean, if I can just get the information. Not to mention.
Cheryl has another question, please.
it doesn't
Madam
matter,
Mayor.
nobody listens anyway.
No.
Okay, okay, what I wanna know, you can't tell me the money, you can't tell me the money, so you can't exactly tell me exactly where it went. But last meeting, and it's in my minutes, was that it went to offset the people who didn't pay their bills. My question is, why are they not sent to collection?
Exactly.
Why are the people who don't pay their bills after so long, every business I've ever worked for and done the books for, if they didn't pay their bills, they went into a collection agency. I know we don't get the full amount of money back. I know that we have to pay them. But my God, it's some kind of recovery. Why do we have to sell our water, or why do we get our bills raised to pay people's bills who don't pay?
Or put a lien against that
Even
house.
if it's sent to collections, doesn't mean that they turn around and pay.
No, and I know
And
that.
that's the bad part about it.
But
And
does it get sent?
well, yeah,
Okay, well, we don't know that.
Just told
I
you.
do now.
We get the last
So
two votes on
anyway,
this subject and move on.
the conversation is good, I think. I don't agree with all of it, but there is concern. The council is, ready to do any action here, or is there action needed?
Yeah, I wanna make a motion that we get a date set for this guy to come in and do free.
Okay,
Second.
Did someone second
may I
it?
interject something? If we could have the charges broken down into water and specifically into different areas that, where the money is going to be, procured from. Currently, we do not have in the budget to, go beyond what we are paying currently, all right? That will change at the first of the year.
Sure.
Please understand, not until then, because we are limited to the budget. We are specifically obligated to stand by that budget, all right? And so the same for wastewater, the different aspects of it, and what the charges will be in each instance,
Sure, so.
okay?
Yeah, you can break it down.
Right, and like I said the last time I was here, and, you know, Casey, you keep saying I'm gonna charge you guys an outrageous rate, I'm not. Not what I'm here to do, not here to gouge cities by any means, or any small community, because I know that they are working on the budget. So, I would just need to know out of that scope that I gave to you guys exactly what it is that you're looking for, and I can give you a cost breakdown. But
That's our
if you're looking-
request.
Yeah,
If you would.
that's fine, I just need to know out of that scope what you're looking for. Then, I mean, just let me know when you guys want me to do the evaluation, and my partner and I will come and take care of it.
There's a
That's all I
motion on
need.
the table.
Is it true, Sam, is it true that, SJ is hired by Pomeroy
Yes, ma'am.
2 times a week?
2 times a week as of right now, on this thing.
Okay,
this
and you
number.
signed up, or contract signed up for 3 years?
It's a minimum of 3, but there's a 30-day clause in there that says you guys can cancel our contract at any time.
Okay, and that's at $2,200 a month?
For the wastewater side, correct.
That would be about $80,000 total for those 3 years.
I would say so.
Okay, and that's just the sewer plant.
That's sewer
Situation.
collections, that's everything in our scope. I mean, they ask for everything in our scope as far as wastewater goes. They wanted us to set up a computer maintenance and monitoring system for them, a sample plan, an operations plan. They wanted me to make sure that their labs stayed within compliance and that, you know, that they were licensed as well. And on top of that, we're also providing training for them. So, yeah.
Okay, so do they have an employee or something that you're going to, or are you going to bring someone that's going to train?
No, they have an employee there. They have two actually that we're training right now. And then also the superintendent checks in quite a bit as well.
When I talked to them, they said that the sewer treatment operator had left.
That was Thomas, I believe, and yeah, he left, and that's why Pomeroy was looking for a new operation. They didn't know what to do, you know, I mean, he got a new job, and they were kind of stuck as to what they were gonna do, and that was one of the first places that I went to was Pomeroy. And, you know, we were able to work things out, and they're very, very happy with their services. Like I said, if you need to get in contact with them for a reference, they'd be happy to talk with you guys. I mean, in 48 hours, we've cleaned up their water drastically on their wastewater side. I mean, corrections, aesthetically, the plant looks so much better. I've taken pictures for the before, and once we have the thing fine-tuned, I'll have after pictures of everything, so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Their system was nearly septic, and now it's completely within compliance. Efficiencies within the plant that we were able to find just within just a couple of hours of being there. I mean, just a walk, they didn't even know how their system, the flow diagram of their system went through their entire plant. We walked through valve by valve, piece of equipment by piece of equipment, but treatment process by treatment process. We walked through the entire thing with them in one day, and they were able to get a grasp of their actual wastewater system, and that was just in one day. But that just gives you a general idea of what it is that our company does.
Okay, before we go back to the council.
Thank you. I'm actually really excited if you do come in and do your little free stuff, that's good. But my question is, so when you go and test all this and do the walk around and, like I say, get down there and get all dirty, you're gonna have an escort, correct, by a city?
Sure.
City
Yeah,
member,
whoever-
not a civilian, but you will have to have a city worker with you?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
correct.
that's a good question. How do you handle the liability of walking up in?
So we have our own insurance, I mean, we're bonded in.
But no, my question is, I mean, are civilians allowed just to go with you? I'm talking like the city of Lynn, I'm talking council members, I'm talking the mayor. Or is it just actual physical city workers that are allowed to go with you to escort and go look and evaluate?
No, I've given tours of students that came in from colleges that took tours of facilities that I've operated before. You know, it stretches
So your
from-
insurance would cover if, no. A council member or any city civilian person went with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sure up to $4 million, $4 to $5 million. More than
Okay, burning question.
Yeah, good morning. It's not like Casey hasn't done anything. Before she showed up, the waste treatment center was not working to its full potential. And she's trained people on how to press and do all that. And the other thing I'm thinking, Casey is under contract to the town of Lynn.
They have to pay off your contract.
Yes.
What's the length of the contract?
We can get a copy of the
And
contract.
I want everybody to know that Casey and Joe, with a phone call, came August 4th down to make sure that our facilities were working to the tip top of their, during that fire. So, I want to thank you so much for that, because that was a real fright coming through, and, so thank you. Okay, Cheryl? has one more
There's a
question.
rumor going around, and I just wanted to spell it. Is Joe wanting to retire?
No, yes, who knows?
He told me on my front lawn that he wanted to retire about 2 years ago with Chris in my front yard
He
too.
told me that too in my backyard.
Okay, like I
Okay, I'm just
said,
asking
yes, no,
Okay, that's all, I just wanted to know if you heard that.
okay, so there is a motion on the table, the floor, whatever. Okay, it's, you'll have to help me, Mike. It's been moved and seconded to
Right, to have
SJ.
SJ come in and do their pre-evaluation of our wells and wastewater treatment facility and give us a free proposal on.
So both
Yep.
wastewater
Yeah,
and
they said
wells.
they would cover both, so, yeah, to have them come in and do evaluation on both and give us a free estimate or what proposal to, you know, a second opinion is all it is, and I'm not here to piss Cassie off or Casey or anybody else, but it's just, to me, if it's free and they're willing to do it, what the hell is it gonna hurt?
Okay, it's, did you get second? Okay, it's moved and seconded, whatever the motion was, to have, CJ or SJ Environments to come and do a free, evaluation of wastewater and water, systems. All in favor, say aye. And any opposed? Motion carries then.
So what day is
I
it?
guess we forgot to add in there the date.
We forgot to add in the date.
Well, I guess, Paul, that would go back to you too, as far as what you, day you're gonna be
How
able to free up
about-
employees and stuff like that.
How about if I give you a call and work out your schedule and all that?
No, I think it'd be
And
nice if we all know, because then we could all attend if we wanted to. You said you could all go, I think that it would be better if we knew a date now.
Yeah, agreed.
Or put out a notice to the public the day that the thing is
Well, no, because
made.
people need to take
We've
the
got
time off
to check
work and
things
stuff.
out
and this is
for,
important.
the facilities first, so.
You have to do what?
What?
We have to check out the facilities to see if it is okay for our side for visitors to go through. I've been told that that's the
By who?
process.
Who's
By
supposed to-
our insurance company.
Jamie, is that right?
Yep.
Town insurance covers anybody on the town.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, I'm also insured as well. Bonded and insured, I'm licensed through RN.
Okay.
I'm not gonna come in
Things
and kick,
change.
I'm not gonna come in and kick your pipe and break anything for you.
I'm sure
I'm just
it's
coming in to
not.
give it an evaluation.
It's not gonna hurt to check with our insurance company to make sure.
Sure. Just let me know, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have to
like I
find-
said, I'm open any day during the week.
I can just suggest the sooner
We
the better.
have to find out when everybody's gonna be available, not on a job and all that stuff, so. Next week.
Excuse number 56.
Are you like on Wednesday?
I'm trying to show them on Monday, but not Thursday, Friday.
Okay, there we go, Wednesday.
I could be
There,
here.
Kathy, you do it Wednesday, Kathy, will you?
This Wednesday? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow Wednesday or next week Wednesday?
Next week.
Next
Next
week.
week Wednesday, next week Wednesday.
How about we shoot for that, will that work?
I'm busy this week.
Next Wednesday.
Okay. What time are we thinking?
Early the better.
She comes to work early in the morning, so.
Okay, I'm on already.
6?
So what, earlier in the morning?
Six o'clock works for you.
You didn't get coffee at 6, Lynn, come on.
I don't drink coffee, so it doesn't matter.
I don't either.
I opened at 6:30 because nobody came in at 6, so.
I was joking
Good
about
for
that,
that
I was
one
drinking
day.
anyway, but I was
I drink it every once in a while.
Where do I need to meet exactly?
Town hall.
at the town hall, down across.
Okay, so next Wednesday at 6 at the town hall. Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
September 1st. Okay. All right, back to the, agenda. CDSI contract action required. Council, you were given the contract, a couple of times ago. And it was yellow a couple of times ago. You do too. I gave it to you.
Not in my folder.
Well, no, it was a couple of times ago.
Well, probably when I wasn't here.
It's in, here. Give it back to me. Okay, now I know. CDSI service, correct? Correct. Okay, you can see the, backside of that first page.
Oh, yeah, okay. I
Okay.
remember.
Robert, you wanna look at it? Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, this, contract is, garbage collection contract entered into parties for the period of October 1st of 2017 to September 30th of 2027. States that the unit prices shall be adjusted every year based on the National All Urban Consumers Price Index for June of each year. So that's where they're amending. So, CDSI contract. Needs approval or not.
I make a motion, we accept the.
And what was that contract for, Mayor? Garbage collection, thank you.
Garbage collecting.
And it's a rate increase, is that what it is?
It's not a rate increase to the customers. So Myra,
I was interrupted, but I make a motion that we accept the CDSI contract.
okay. Been moved and seconded to, approve the third contract amendment with CDSI. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. I'm going to, read before we go into the resolutions, something. Pertains to, north side and south side of town. North side of town, well 7 water levels in the aquifer have been dropping over the years. Because of the dropping levels in the aquifer, the demand is too high for the supply. According to the history of the well, 1998, the pump was lowered 40 feet. Then in 2014 and 15, pump was lowered again by 100 feet. A BFD was added to the pump system.
Variable frequency runner.
2016, the well failed. 2017 to current, we are being cautious not to damage the well due to declining aquifer. Plans are in the works for emergency funding for another production well. Continuously, the town and Century West have been working with the Department of Health, Department of Ecology, geoengineers, as well as the Columbia Basin Groundwater Coalition Group for solutions and funding. We'll be meeting again later this week to discuss the now crucial options before us. The cemeteries, schools, parks have not been using water to help with the supply for the citizens' usage. And I'm sorry that there's just not the abundance of water that we've been used to having. At this point, we are manually running well 7 every 3 days to keep Reservoir 2 filled for everyone's drinking water, fire protection, and watering of lawns, gardens. South side of town, well 8 is running fine, filling Reservoir 3, which supplies Reservoir 2 when it gets low. That process, it takes about half of a day for the water to get from one side of town to the other, which makes well 8 run to fill Reservoir 3. The whole town needs to be supplied with drinking water and for fire protection. As Mr. Nelson said, everyone around us is suffering with lowering aquifer levels. Davenport has had one well go dry. Even Moses Lake and Spokane are on alternating schedules for their citizens. Ritzville is having issues with their brand new well. Actually, it's not new now, but. So, my question to the county commissioners that were at this meeting was, how is Ritzville going to supply water to all of those new housing developments? That wasn't an answer. We can't do anything about the aquifer. Others are drawing from it. It's not just us. So, also kind of repeating what Mr. Nelson has said, if we want things fixed right now on anything, we pay. If we don't want to pay, we have to wait for the funding. And that's where it's hard, because funding comes 2 years, 3 years down the road. So with that, I'm moving into item C. Resolution 2206. And Council 2206 was tabled. Are you taking further action on 2206, or are you striking it dead?
I make the motion that we strike it.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to strike 2206. Done. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Drawn a blank on that.
Oh, you gotta look at it.
Yeah.
He was gone.
It was called for a time.
He has his packet at home.
Come read it,
The townspeople were unhappy that it gave all the power to Paula and took it away from council. That's what they were stating last meeting.
All right, so we have, the motion is to,
Getting rid of this, we want to get rid of this. This was-
They're striking it.
That's what this was trying to do, yeah, so yes.
and it was tabled. Remember, it was tabled?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so now it's being struck dead, so it's no good. Okay, so that is, it's been moved and seconded to strike resolution 2206, done, dead, kaput. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Resolution 2207. Council, this is being presented as a possible solution to the emergency water situation. So what does the council want to do?
Could you read it to the
I am already going to read it for you if I will be allowed.
Thank you.
You don't need to be rude.
Resolution 2207.
Yeah, it was very uncalled for.
A resolution of the Town Council of Lynn, Washington, declaring an existence of an emergency, providing for commercial and residential bans on usage of all outdoor watering, imposing monetary and other penalties, and fixing a time when the same shall be effective. What is next is exactly what the ordinance 0303 says. Whereas, Water Ordinance 0303, Section 1.1.22, imposition of water use restrictions states, the council shall have the right to forbid and/or establish certain specific time or hours for lawn and garden sprinkling and other non-essential uses of water within the whole or specified parts of the town when there is an actual or impeding water shortage, extreme pressure loss in the distribution system, or for any other reasonable cause. The council may at any time determine such rules and/or restrictions to be necessary, and after notification by posting thereof, may enforce the same. Upon notice of violation of any such rule or restriction, the water may be shut off to the premises of the violator without further notice, and shall not be turned on again until the owner or occupant of the premises has agreed to comply with the rules and/or restrictions and has paid to the town all charges for service. Any such consumption of water shall be charged at double the water rate established by council. Now, therefore, be it resolved that due to the emergency situation, there is a complete water ban on all outside watering, lawns, gardens, and outside washings. Be it further resolved that the implementation of watering ban will preserve the water supply for public health and safety. Be it further resolved that the implementation of the watering ban will preserve the water supply for fire protection. Be it further resolved that the Lynn Town Council will reevaluate the water supply on or before October 11, 2022. Be it further resolved that this notice will be in effect until the council posts any changes. Passed, approved, and adopted by the Lynn Town Council of Lynn, Washington on this 24th day of August 2022. And it has all council members' signatures. So, council, resolution 2207.
Hey, one of us,
Wait a
some
minute.
people want to talk.
May I,
Do you have a question?
Why did I have to sign it already?
if we don't want a ban, we have talked about changing the watering hours from 5 to 7 a.m. and 8 to 10 p.m. Our main objective, please, is safety and fire protection if needed. If we're conscientious about using our water and stick with the rules and everybody complies, it won't be necessary to do a ban.
I got a little bit, well, I was gonna add some to Myra's statement there, but I don't know, maybe, well, actually, I'll just add it. So I wanna add a little bit of a change to that too, if I could, if we keep where we're at now besides changing the hours. I guess what we need to do is find out the watering schedule from the school, for one. I suggested in the beginning of all this that instead of cutting everything off completely, we maybe even cut it in half or cut it way down. The parks included, the schools and the cemetery. It's horrible. I mean, I get the money part of it, you know, the town's trying to get money, but I don't see how killing everything off in this town is gonna benefit us anymore as far as getting FEMA money or whatever you wanna call it. To me, even if we were to cut them in half or even down to a quarter, some water is better than no water on the football field or the grade school playground, where I'm not saying I know for 100% fact, but I'm hearing that, you know, I know for a fact though that the middle school kids can't even practice aren't even practicing on our field up there now, they're already going to Ritzville. That takes away from the town right there, especially if they're gonna be playing games. If they can't practice here, they're not gonna have games here. I mean, it affects the school, it affects the whole town. The grade schoolers aren't even gonna probably be able to play out on the playground. I mean, this is getting,
It's already been canceled.
find a nice word to say, it's getting crazy.
All games have been canceled and no reason.
And
Okay.
I realize grass will come back, if it's not too far gone, but I mean, even, I guess I'm just proposing a little bit will help, at least help instead of just letting it die off completely.
I know, I've been without for 2 years and it came.
And that's a sad deal,
really-
it looks like it's been without for 2 right now, and it hasn't, but, I mean,
It came back.
but that's, and I get grass will sometimes, but it's not always gonna,
The whole point is that the restrictions went in, the restrictions got a little bit tougher because of the hours, and we had people doing, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. So actually, if I were that person, I was taking water out of your drinking water, right? Okay, so how are you going to battle that when our aquifer is being lowered, and the school, I'm not knocking the school, but the school, with their football field, they've got 11 stations.
right.
And
Okay,
11
I didn't know that.
stations times 20 minutes each, that's a lot of water that's being taken out of the communities, you know?
I get that, but it's something that's also, that's why I'm saying even if we cut it in half or, you know, 10 minutes or, you know,
Okay.
so, just so something, and maybe not every day, Paula,
No, we
once a week, or, I mean, even, or a couple days a week would be better than
And
nothing at all.
The only thing that you kept saying.
Okay, you're missing the point here. I hear what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying, but you've got resolution 2207 being the subject. So what I'm hearing is that you're not caring anything about resolution 2207. You're wanting to just ignore this. This was just a possibility sheet of paper in front of you.
Right.
To
Well, yeah, obviously, I don't want that.
to do the, same language, except for having a total ban. I know that it's not going to be a total ban, right? Because somebody's gonna be out there watering at 3
Well,
o'clock.
I get that, but then you also, you know, when you're putting in here that they're just gonna shut somebody's water off and this and that,
No, we need to at least mow it every other day. Has to be.
Okay.
I mean, I've lost 3 grams worth of trees.
I wasn't trying to take you totally sideways, I was just.
No, you're not. You're not the only one.
That's a lot
You
of
are
money.
not the only one. So, will everybody listen to what Myra had said?
We were talking about changing the hours to 5 to 7 a.m. and 8 to 10 p.m. And if everybody complies and is conscientious about using their water, we won't have to do a ban.
What does it matter what time the water comes out? If somebody's watering their lawn, they're watering their lawn. The water came out.
Well, if you water at 110
So what I was
degrees,
gonna,
it's just gonna fry your lawn anyway.
Brian was saying, as far as, I agree with changing the
Guys,
times, whatever.
please.
But we also need to reword that too, because, well,
To include our schools and our playgrounds and all of that.
yes, and that's what I was trying to add, but as far as it says, right now, what, 4 to 6 and 9 to 11, well, some people read a little more in depth. That's telling me I could water my yard 4 hours a day. Where it could be 4 to 6 or 9 to 11. And that would,
We were trying to do the compromise of.
and that would cut your, and I'm not trying to, you know, we all want water, but
That sounds better.
2 hours a day is gonna save a little more water than the same person watering 4 hours a day, right? So I guess we need to redo our verbiage in that,
Okay,
is what I'm getting at,
well, say,
right? Makes sense?
guys, the conversations, please. So, do you have the yellow sheet from before?
No, I don't. Yes, I got half of it right here.
Okay, read.
No, I can't, go ahead.
All right,
So what?
The yellow sheet
Oh,
from before.
yeah.
Water Ordinance 0303, Section 1.1.22, imposition of water use restrictions. The council shall have the right to forbid and/or establish certain specific hours for lawn and garden sprinkling and other non-essential uses of water within the whole or specified parts of the town when there is an actual or impending water shortage, extreme pressure loss in the distribution system, or for any other reasonable cause. The council may at any time determine such rules and/or restrictions to be necessary, and after notification by posting thereof, may enforce the same. Upon notice of violation of any such rule or restriction, the water may be shut off to the premises of the violator without further notice and shall not be turned on again until the owner or occupant of the premises has agreed to comply with the rules and/or restrictions and has paid to the town all charges for service. Any such consumption of water shall be charged at double the rate established by council. This is previous. It was effective as of August 10th, 2022. The council approved the following water schedule for residents. Previously, it was even addresses on even days and odd addresses on odd days during the hours of 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. only. Please abide by the council decision, as it is very important to still be conservative and water smartly in the time of this emergency. This notice will be in effect until the council posts any changes, and it was posted on August 10th.
and that's what you've been under.
Right.
Yeah.
But Myra would like to, well, I guess we need to,
We have 5 hands up, guys.
Anything else?
well, I was gonna add some stuff, but if we have questions, that's fine.
Okay. Ms. PJ,
Does each water hookup and account get a certain amount of water? Like I have two I pay on. Do I get to use it in both? Can I use one from one place and use it in another place?
that would be up to you because that's your 1,400 cubic feet each meter.
And so I can use it in different places.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your meter, right? Or two places.
Yeah.
Okay. Brianne?
Okay, back to you. You had mentioned about like the school, the football field. When this water issue happened back when I think the article said 2016 there was an issue, did you guys have, I remember there was some sort of restrictions in place or something where the schools and the cemetery had alternating using the wells so that it didn't drop down? Why did that stop? Wouldn't that have prevented some of this, or am I not understanding that properly? Did that not happen?
I really wasn't involved in any of that, sorry, Brianna, I can't answer.
I just think
It is on alternating, or it was on alternating anyway, through the whole watering system. Because if you've got the school going and the cemetery going, you wouldn't have anything coming out of your taps because of the lower, it's like a, sippy, or a Subway cup, okay? A bottle of Coke or whatever. You've got sucking that out, and then what do you got left? The ice.
You guys had a schedule that this.
Yeah, it was a schedule, so that it would be replenished.
And it was used properly, like Tuesday the school, you know, Wednesday the cemetery.
I would hope so, because if that's what was said, yes.
I can address that.
Okay, address that,
Okay,
please.
I asked the town when I was mayor to please conserve water. In our effort, we took the town parks that have automated systems and set them to run in the middle of the night when there's not much work, not much use on the water system, the town park. We also went to the school and to the cemetery. We helped the school set their parks to water at night, not during the day, also so that the wells had time to replenish and that it wasn't drawing down from people having water during the day, because most people don't use water at night. The cemetery at that time, I don't believe had a programmable watering system, but we did work it to where the school was watering on this day and that day, and the cemetery was the other day and the other day. And then the town parks were run in the middle of the night several times a week. And it was for more than 15 minutes, because 15 minutes worth of water does not go down to the roots of the trees. And you can see right now that our trees are losing their leaves in the park, which means they're dying. So we really need to consider maybe a little bit more water, you know, for those trees, because I know there's some of the newer trees that are dying and are dead. And then one of the really big older trees that's established, it needs water, no matter what we talk about. But we did things with the community, and we asked them to help cooperate. We didn't force it on them or
And don't
tell
think
them
that
they
I
would be
haven't,
fine.
don't think I haven't talked to the school. Don't think I haven't talked to the cemetery. Don't think I haven't talked. It is hard for people to abide by something that they are being told what to do, when to do, and how much to do. I get it. But we're in a situation every summer, every whatever, we have a problem with the heat. We have a problem with people having their sprinkler on at noon, and it's just evaporating out. And that's kind of
running down the street.
And running down the street, whatever it is. But that's coming out of your pockets. And so you need to water smartly. That's what I've always said, just water smartly. Water in the cool of the morning or the day or night and whatever, but the school is a definite big draw off of that Slurpee cup.
Okay, I have a couple things. One, I have a question. The garden, people's gardens, that is essential. Can they water their gardens?
Yes, it's essential.
They can water gardens, that's a yes, we can water our gardens.
It says.
Yes,
Okay,
Well, they were doing.
just consider your garden.
Second, I was concerned about the trees in our park, but it was drawn to my attention, and I have to say on behalf of that, the smoke damage from the fire. When you have a fire and there's soot and smoke, it kills, the plants have to breathe just like we do. And so the trees, the foliage that is falling off the trees is probably from smoke damage. Yes, the trees need water, I'm not disputing that, but what's happening now is they're dying because they couldn't breathe, and we didn't have the ability to go wash them off. I did my yard, they're doing fine. So as far as the trees, the old trees, I think they're probably okay. It's just this, we're having an early fall because of the smoke damage. And third, I watered my lawn from 9 to 11, or whatever, 9 to 11, is that what it is? And my lawn stays green. I water at night. It can green up if you do it, and we do 20 minutes, we have 3 stations, we do it, whatever. And then that extra one, that's when I do my flower beds. So it can be kept green, but you have to do it at night. And yes, night is not easy for the elderly in our community. It's very difficult for them because there's no light. And they can't, I mean, I have a hard time walking.
I think that's part of the reason Myra was suggesting changing the
And
hours.
I think that's a great idea.
A big part of that, and either early in the morning or at night. Well, I didn't say it like that.
But it's doable if we just do it. And I know there are people who won't do it, and we can't fix that. Yeah.
And even like the school thing I suggested, even if we, I know it's not fair to the front yard or whatever, but as far as the playground and the football field, even if we cut out the yard part of the school, that would be a big save on water too. And just did a little bit to the fields and the playground.
Because as of
Would be
today,
something, at
all
least that's-
games were canceled, all practices were canceled, and all recesses
And
were
it's
canceled.
having a big effect from what
And that's gonna be hard
everybody
on
I'm
the
sure
kids.
is hearing
I'll
through the
donate
grapevine.
my water usage of outside to the school playground and field.
Denise, do you have your hand up?
Right.
Well, yes, why can't we try switching to well 8 and see how long it takes to fill reservoir 3 up there? Why don't we try that for a week and leave this watering the way it is, except for changing the hours? But try it with well 8 and see what happens. You guys, you just said well 8 is fine, so switch to well 8 and turn 7
It's
off.
already been doing that ever since this
Well, you
came
haven't
about.
turned 7 off.
No, we run it every 3 days to keep that reservoir full.
And you said well 8
Because
is
the north
fine.
side of town is the bigger side of users. So all those users that are on that side are drawing off of the stored well 7 or reservoir 2
And
container. So
And-
what we're doing is, all we're doing is keeping the same as what we've got and changing whatever time. Now, you wanted to do what with what words?
I wanted to add the watering of the grade school and the football field and cemetery. I want to add some water to everything this time, including the parks. I just don't know, I can't, it might sound like a
Okay, so what would
dumbass,
be
but I
your-
don't have a schedule on what they run and how long each,
They
you
aren't
know.
running.
How many, I know they're not running at all now, and that's the problem.
I didn't think to bring that, but yeah, it's every other day, alternating between, school and cemetery when it is running.
But, you know.
Yes.
Okay, one thing, I don't know if everybody knows it or not, but school starts next Monday. Okay, there is going to be quite a bit of draw because you're going to have all the students in the school. So, changing the watering times is going to be helpful. What we're trying to do is prevent a situation where nobody has any water. Okay. Be that as it may. Another point I'd like to address is the watering the air. That's a big problem. If you're throwing water out there in the middle of the day, it is useless. So, if we can do it within the confines of the hours that we have set up, and then address the issue with the school district to see how we can make accommodations so that things.
Right, like shut their lawns off per se, till we can turn it back on, and then that will give water for the fields and the playground, you know.
Yeah.
At least something out there to where we're not sending kids to have to play in Ritzville when they should be playing here, or kid has to play in the friggin' gym because
The
it's.
problem is that I'm 100% on board with you, and I think it's like probably not recoverable at this point to get the kids back here because it's so dry. We probably can't green that up in time unless we're gonna go dump some serious water to it. And we went too far. We've got ourselves in the predicament now, you can't go backwards again. That's where it's at. Because the football season is gonna be, rolling I don't know that we would get enough recovery, but I think for the recesses, throughout the winter, all of that kind of stuff, I mean, people, I know that water's water, but, you know, people do pay their taxes, they want to bring their kids to it, and, you know, those kids need to go burn off some energy, or you're gonna have teachers that are climbing the wall.
Right, you know, and I'm a parent, and I know I'm not the only one here, but when it's whatever degrees outside, my kid shouldn't be in the friggin' gym when he could be out on the playground. That really makes me wanna stay here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, oh, go ahead, no, I'm just gonna try to give opinion on water.
I have two questions. Why are we trying to push through a resolution when it's already stated that the council can do what they're doing? What is the importance on putting through this resolution? And secondly, is it really legal to just turn on somebody's water?
No. Is there a violation?
If we have no water for public, for human consumption, does the city have any backdrop on that? Are they gonna provide all the water, or, I mean, how's that gonna happen? You can't just take it away from humans.
Could I get my question answered, please, also? Is there a certain need that you have to have a resolution? Or can the council just adjust the watering hours and do it by 0303, the ordinance 0303?
That was what the compromise was, previous meeting, that the 0303, it was already in place.
Yes.
So then that's where the council said, okay, we're gonna do the 0303 because it's already there, we're just gonna act on it now. And it puts the council in charge.
But they already are. They already make those decisions.
Evidently, it was a big issue last meeting that they wanted.
Oh, 207.
Hmm?
207.
The six.
The one that you just canceled that.
Right, right.
I think what she's asking is why are we having
Well, she's asking about this one
Yeah.
right here that we were given today.
Yeah, and why are we having that one? Another one. 0303.
Okay, so,
And is it legal to shut off somebody's water like that?
okay,
Okay.
all you inquiring minds, Water Ordinance 0303 states upon notice of violation of any such rule or restriction, the water may be shut off to the premises of the violator without further notice and shall not be turned on again until the owner or occupant of the premises has agreed to comply with the rules and or restrictions and has paid to the town all charges for service. 0303, so
Okay,
that
but
is.
when they wrote that, did they actually research whether that was legal or not? That's my question. Is it legal to just turn somebody's water off and then charge them double and not turn it back on until they pay?
When nobody's fees are being cut when they're not using their base amount of water because there's a water restriction, it's not going the other way. Nobody's saying, here's a break in your bill, but by golly, if you overdo it, we're gonna
They're
slap
not
you with
being
double.
charged for the overrun.
So this ordinance was from 2003, correct?
Yes.
Right!
So, sounds like.
All right,
council
we've got
agreed.
whatever year, whatever mayor that was in the chair would have made the research. Jim,
We haven't updated it from.
okay. All right, so, Mr. Wolf,
Question,
you have, yes, sir.
because when that was made, the previous mayor was on the council who made that decision. Correct?
Back in 03,
I
would
mean,
have
when
been
you
where
got
it
that
could.
up, our new mayor was on this other side of the table, was that correct? So then, you would have
Were you on the
known,
council?
Yeah, I know what he's
you
asking.
would have
What's-
known what all these questions are that you're sandbagging on. And if you've known since 2016 that we have a problem, and you're giving away 600,000 gallons of water last year alone, that you won't, do you have, at what rate did you give that away?
I don't know. We
I mean, if you're gonna double my charges that I'm paying on three
Well,
houses
the
right
thing
now.
is, Chris, don't be out of compliance, then you won't have double.
But I called and asked you and you were out of compliance.
Guys,
If you were giving it to the school.
Do you know how hypocritical this sounds? This is, the tables are completely flawed. I was saying everything that you're saying last year, and you would not listen to a word I said. And now you expect everybody else to hear you.
No, I'm not saying a thing. I'm wanting you
Who gets to make
ask.
that decision?
So if they don't agree with
So
ordinance
if
because
they
it's
see
outdated, they
something
can
out of
change it.
compliance,
They
then
have
it's
to-
turned off.
If
But
whatever the council wants to rewrite or redo or
I'm just
revisit,
trying to figure out
they can
who
do
it
that.
is that gets to make that judgment call on your faucet being on. I mean, do you get to make it? Do
No,
they
the
get to tell
council.
You get to make
So
it?
council, did you send out the first notice, the blue notice that went out? Did that go across the board and you sent that out?
This notice right here is up.
No, the notice of the brown water safe, did that go across the
No,
board?
that was me,
on it?
that was me.
So you said it's
Under
council's decision.
direction of Joe, the water, distribution person.
So that's when it skips over the council. It skips over the council when it's
Well, but
convenient.
that's dead and gone,
No,
because
it's
we're
important, it's important though,
we're
because
moving on to the
you
03,
didn't
03.
notify the public of an emergency, then you sent out a notice, which is,
No, there
it's not change of command. So if there is an emergency, and then you send out a notice, you're not following the command of the council. So change that, council.
Nobody had it.
So they didn't have to say, let me get this right, so you guys didn't vote on the notice being sent out. That was done by you and Joe. Paula, is that correct?
The council was notified.
They were
To
notified?
the ones
Michael,
that
were
I
you notified?
could
You
get
voted on
a
it?
hold of.
I don't recall
The
that.
ones that I could get a hold of.
I already was notified of the notice. Of the blue notice going out that said brown water is safe to drink. You were notified of that notice going out to the public.
I've heard about the brown water, yes.
You heard it from Paula? She was notified you saying, is this okay to send out?
I saw it in writing somewhere.
Okay,
Jim, did
so
you get
are
this?
we going to, contact, the school? Do you want to contact the school and you want to do the cemetery and the grade school to find out their schedules?
Yeah, I mean, I can, if I need, I didn't know if you already had a schedule for the
I
school
do.
stuff or whatever.
Why do you need to put the school on a resolution? I'm not your guys' water operator, but I can't take this anymore. Like, I'm listening to all this stuff, you guys have a lot of questions that are not being answered properly. And it's not because someone's trying to be evasive or anything else, okay? I know that seems that way, but she just simply doesn't have the answers because she's not a water professional, okay? So,
Then why isn't Joe addressing it to us? Why isn't there public notice being sent out?
I don't know, but listen, you have to create a resolution to be able to enforce something,
That's
okay?
not correct.
There was an ordinance already enforced last meeting.
Yeah, they did vote on, didn't you guys vote saying you can water lawns between this time and this time and
So
excluding?
then
And
what
then
if we
tried to
ordinance?
restrict gardens on top of it.
You're trying to add another resolution.
You said you
We shot one
tabled
down
it.
last meeting because it was ridiculous.
Well,
It's not necessary.
How would you enforce shutting people's water off, or if you
If
didn't
the
have a
ordinance says
emergency
that,
resolution?
that's their
It's
issue.
in 0303. It's in the ordinance.
Then what are they voting on?
That's exactly
All
what they're
is
asking.
playing games.
They said it all.
So,
Changing the
who cares
time.
what the time is? I mean,
You
who
don't
cares
need a
what the school does? Like,
resolution to
you
change
have to
the
get everybody to
time.
cooperate, okay? You have to get, and I do this, I manage a lot of water systems. You have to get people to cooperate with you. You cannot just tell them what they're gonna do. You gotta ask them what they're gonna do, and half the people aren't gonna do it. So you don't need to worry about the school. You're gonna tell the school when they can water. And you're gonna say, hey, cooperate with us, you're gonna water, the cemetery's gonna go from this time to this time. These people are gonna go from this time to this time. If there's elderly people, they can water in the middle of the day, that's gonna be fine. As long as you're getting most of the people to cooperate and you have a way to enforce it, that's all that you need. Now, can you go shut someone's water off if they're not complying? You need to read the RCWs, because I don't know the answer to that. There are utility shut-off procedures that have to be followed, and, I think that should definitely be addressed and discussed.
Might check with the, Department of Health also.
But,
They condemned my house and kicked me out because I didn't have water to it. Not in this town or another town, but, so if you're literally making people not live in their house, it's kind of an issue.
No, it won't kick you out of your house.
Yes, it is. Because I had a broken house, they condemned my life.
I know the laws though, like,
I'm not-
table that needs to be addressed, let's let them address it. Oh, why? What motion did they say? I thought you had a motion for that to be passed. No. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm totally lost here. I'm first to admit, I have no idea where we are.
So we're still, where we're at is discussing the change of hours
Exactly.
and adding,
So can I ask why a public notice wasn't sent to the community stating that we were in an emergency? If Paula sent out this blue notification without council's consent, and we had no notification of public emergency, as it's been stated in other meetings, why wasn't that addressed to the public? Because that's a step, when you call Ritzville, for instance, that's their step of command when we're in a drought or maintenance failure. You're supposed to notify the public of an emergency, drought, or et cetera. Then you call the public to notify, but that step was like completely skipped. It was just like, here's a notice on your door, obey it or else, and the next one came. So like, I guess my thing to you is, for my personal, is couldn't you have put out a public notice saying there's an emergency or issue nicely? And I sure as heck, if I got it that way, would have been like, hey, I want to conserve water for our town. I don't want my kids to be on a dried out playground, but it just kind of didn't go in chain of command. And council obviously didn't say to send out a letter of notice of the issue, and we still don't know what the issue is other than the aquifer is low.
Okay, thanks for your comment.
Well, it's a question.
Oh, it's a question?
But why didn't
At
you
the
send out a
time,
public?
I was under the direction of the water supervisor.
So that
which is
states
Jill.
that he's not doing his job properly?
No,
So the water supervisor supersedes the council?
Yes.
well,
Just like the water, so the water distribution can write letters to the community to be out about homes and projects as well. He just is a jack of all trades.
that part I don't know. Okay, council, what, do you want to, just kind of amend your decision of the, water ordinance 0303 sheet? Or do you want to revamp, or there is an issue with the aquifer, that is stated.
But it's not creating any.
I would like to make a motion that we change the times of watering. And Mike suggested that it's 5 to 7 or 8 to 10.
Or,
instead of and,
okay. Or 8 to 10.
Yeah, but not everybody's gonna be able to, might not do that at that time. They
no, I
might
get
be
that,
out
we're just
to
trying to,
work or
we're hoping it
something.
accommodates more people than the other hours because they were later at night or earlier in the morning.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, but it
Honestly,
sounds
to
like
me,
you only want
You have a
one.
2-hour window, I don't give a shit when you water. Obviously, we'd like to have you keep it in that 2-hour window, but you know, if you wanna use your 2 hours from noon to 2, I guess if you think that's gonna help you out more, go for it, but you're gonna use the same gallons either way.
Okay, but
But-
the thing is,
But then they.
if I get the water whenever I want to, when you have stated.
Why, man?
Okay, you have stated 5 to 7, 8 to 10, and then you say, oh, you can do it between 12 and 2, well then, that's a,
I wasn't, that was a figure of speech.
Well, I think
Well-
a couple people brought up a good point. I think that the idea is good, but I also think that if legally you can't turn people's water off, and that probably should not be included in the recommending portion of that. I think that probably needs to be clarified before it's put in effect, because you don't know if you have the legal means to do that.
well, and it's in the ordinance of, that was probably checked and rechecked.
Yeah, but if it was from
Or at that
03,
time. I
yeah,
don't
but
know.
from 03, that's a lot of time that laws and RCWs have changed, and I would make sure that you're in compliance with that before you start putting an ordinance and trying to act on it.
Okay, so council, what do you, what
Sounds
do you?
like we need to make amends to this ordinance.
Council, what do you want to do?
Change the hours.
5 to 7,
Or 8 to 10.
or, the word or, 8 to 10, that's what's been thrown out.
Because at least with the the way it is now, we're still gonna be able to water, it's
That's
not.
the motion.
And it's still in
And
dark.
that's the whole idea behind the letter.
Right.
You can still water.
Now, are we
You
gonna
don't
add to
water
this?
between each
Do I make a motion to have to add to this? What I would, okay. I make a motion that we also add to this, the watering of the school,
To be included, park.
the school and the cemetery and the parks to be included. With probably, obviously, an adjustment of hours or scheduling or whatever that will make sense to at least get some water on it, so,
Okay, so the motion has been
if that
amended.
makes any sense.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been amended to, or the motion is, to keep the, yellow sheet, the verbiage, changing effective as of August 10, or do you want to change it to now? Because we're changing.
We have to change the date on it.
Okay, so, okay, and then you've got, still even addresses, even days, odd addresses, odd days, from 5 AM to 7 AM, or 8 PM to 10 PM. And you want the word only taken out, or keep it in? Because if you keep only in, well then that eliminates me from going out there from 1 o'clock in the morning, or, whatever.
Leave it the way it is.
And then you want a paragraph that, or a schedule of some sort for grade school, football field, the cemetery, and parks.
Just
to
a
get
playground.
on a
Couldn't they just be
Yeah.
done with the addresses, just like everybody else? Wouldn't that be easy, like, you know, if they're odd or they're even, they go on these days?
I'd have to
Probably,
find
I
out
don't-
the address. I don't know what the address is.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if they obviously have an odd, even address, just like everybody else, why can't
Right.
they just be included?
No, that
in
makes sense, and then, as far as the parks and the cemetery go, I don't, obviously opposite days or whatever. I don't know their schedules, if they're every day, or, you know, or what they were. You would probably know.
We can work
Cemetery.
that out.
Okay,
Okay. So the motion was stated
yes.
with the changes, and Robert seconded, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are we voting on a resolution? Is the council voting on a resolution or just an adjustment?
We are not voting on the resolution, what we are voting on
Just
is
an
the yellow
adjustment.
paper that you would
Oh, 303
receive last time.
adjustment.
It's an adjustment to it.
Thank you. I just wanted to be clear.
Excuse me, but when did you say that was going to go into effect on the new times?
It goes into effect this,
Tonight.
today.
Tonight, so I just lost an hour of my watering time at my home because you changed it.
I do it tomorrow so people can be notified, other people
Yeah,
are
that
watering
would
right now.
be the more
Okay,
appropriate.
here's
All
an
right, we'll change
idea.
it to 8:25.
This meeting is taking up my watering time. Do you guys understand that? Okay.
You don't water!
No, I'm the one
Excuse me?
that don't water.
You don't even.
He doesn't either because he's not living in his house.
Or wait.
Pardon me?
Okay,
Young
okay.
lady, I just live in my house.
All right, we have, next item is code compliance officer. Council, you have some letters from, Henry.
The first two concern 210 East 3rd and 14 North St. Clair properties. You signed the civil infraction notice of violation on July 29th for compliance or reply by 8/13. Neither of these parties has replied. These two cases have been turned over to the town attorney for further review to see how we should proceed, since it seems like we've never gone this far for any of the nuisance problems in the town. Okay, so those two are at the attorney's office now. The third one, which we have to work on today is one that went out, started to go out way back in May, got the first notice. This is 602 West Clarence, okay? More letters have come back and forth. I haven't heard from the property owner in the past month and a half. The civil infraction time is now, if the council wants to go further, just like the first two, to clean up this property, if the infraction notice is here. And a letter will be sent with the notice stating what the property owner can do if he doesn't want to comply, what the town could do according to whatever the town attorney says to do. So that's this one here. You have a copy of the blank one. This is the one that would have to be signed by the town if they're gonna go forward with this third one, the 602 West Clarence.
Council, I am here with an answer to that thing from 602 West Clarence. I am the property owner.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I signed up to be first speaker at the, at the end of it. I mean, if you want me to answer it, to go now, I will. Council? Okay. Okay, for most of you that don't happen to know me, I'm Gary Dumas, and I live at 602 West Clarence. I've been there since 2009. I'm going to read what I have to say, and I'm pretty sure that some people are not going to be in agreement, and it's fine. First, thank you for listening to me. When I finish, I believe you will see that the town and I are at a Mexican standoff. Here is why. Number one, I will never respond to any notification by Henry Fong. He will only address the council. I've provided that he has no authority 2 council meetings ago, that he has absolutely no authority, no certification relating to his job. Without this certification, he is in violation of a state law which states criminal impersonation and any citizen can be arrested, him included, and the sheriff's office could transport him to jail at that time. Okay? He's not certified, you cannot use him.
Did you bring the...
I will if I have to. I'll tell you what, you want to give me a bad time, how about I arrest you tonight? Now let me do the talking.
Mr. DeMott.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. DeMott.
One more, yes.
I need to ask what RCW you are referring to.
I don't have it with me, okay?
Okay.
But let me finish, okay? And he is saying, he is definitely in violation of certification, because he has no certifications, okay? It's called criminal impersonation is what it's under the RCW. And like I say, any citizen who is in here right now could take and walk over and say, you're under arrest, call the sheriff's department, hold him until the sheriff gets here, and then they, with citizen's arrest, they have to transport him to jail and book him into jail and wait for somebody to bail him out. I'm not happy about this, okay?
I need the RCW.
I will have to look it up.
Okay.
And the other thing, transporting to jail. Second, by keeping him on to begin with, after I prove that he has no certification, he has no authority to work this town, the town has continued to keep him on, and there is a violation of another state law by the city. It's called unlawful retention. You're retaining somebody who has absolutely no authority to take and do what he has to do, and therefore you're in violation of the state law, okay? I'm not after to take and fight with you people, okay? But I'm tired And here's the way I look at it. We're fighting for money to run this town. How can we how can we say, okay, we're gonna take and pay him to take and do this when we need money for other things in this town? Okay?
I agree.
All right. And like I say, I'm not here to take and to get anybody arrested, but I'm telling you that it can happen. And anybody sitting here who chooses to do so can do it.
What is on your property, what are you in violation of?
Okay. And let me get this, the rest of this, and you'll see what it is. Okay, now to address the violations on my property. We're running into what I call, why I say it's a Mexican standoff. About 65% of the stuff that's up at my property, I didn't put there, okay? Some other people brought it up, dropped it off. In fact, one of the person who used to work for the city, Doug Morris, brought a boat up there, sat it on the property, it's still there. Of course, Doug's been murdered, so what do I do with it? I can't got no paperwork to get rid of it, okay? And there's other things like that, okay? And not only that, but people have come through my property without my permission, without my being there, and about 65% of what is up on that hill, the property isn't even mine. Yet, they put it up there, okay? I have some stuff, yes. I think I've got 5 vehicles that, let's see, maybe 4 vehicles that need to go to the scrap heaps.
I'll haul them for you.
But without,
I got a tow truck right outside, I'll haul them for you.
I'll talk to you. Okay. One of the reasons why I haven't been is when I addressed the council last time, I was trying to get my truck going. I had $5,000 wrapped up in my truck. It still isn't going. We burned up a starter and trying to find another starter. I got one from Spalding, brought it in, and it's the wrong starter, and they don't have another one. So I made arrangements for later this week to take and money is supposed to be coming in from one person. I'm going to take it to and get the starter ordered, and maybe I can, and with his help, maybe I can do a little more, okay?
I got a question for you, Gary.
Yes, Mike, go ahead.
So you're saying that there's a bunch of rigs up there, I don't know exactly where your property line is, that's
I'm
what
at the
I'm asking.
very end
That
of
aren't even on your property, so whose property is it that they're on?
I don't know. I don't know. It's whoever's on the west past mine. Like I say, they have crossed my property and left stuff up there. Some of it's mine, I will admit. Some of the stuff that was
Do you have your property line marked though, so if we're gonna get somebody, I don't know whose other property is.
Pretty close to where my property line is, Mike, yes.
I was just kinda curious whose property they were on then, so we can get a hold of them, that way you're not getting blamed for it all.
Another thing that's reason why I haven't done much, like as you can tell, you can tell I'm not got much wind. Due to an accident in 2019, I have developed COPD. I get out into this hot weather, and 5 minutes, I'm done, okay? They put me on a nebulizer, and I am now packing the latest thing out there, registry, okay? So, like I say, but I will never respond to this man anything he writes to me. I will have no problem addressing the council as you see I am tonight.
I have a question. Do you have a computer?
Do I have a computer?
You can-
My wife is the computer person. I get on there, I have, the only time I get on the computer is whenever I take and I need a part for something, she'll bring things up and then I'll go through and see if it's something.
My suggestion is that you have her go online, check tax sifter, and find out who owns that property.
That's
Okay, I
Henry's job,
can
not
probably
his.
do
That's
that.
I'm not allowed to walk on the property to see where the
It's your
property
job to
lines
find
are.
out whose property you're writing the letter to.
It's actually Bennett's.
Like I say,
I cannot see what's over the hill.
I'm
You can
planning
get on
on,
tax sifter.
somebody has to
volunteer.
It's just about.
Excuse me, no.
Have him bring some of the stuff off of there and in the next few days. Like I say, I'm definitely not a fan of this man, and like I say, why are we paying him to take, and people that he's written nasty letters to in the past, we are now in cliche, calling him the code harassment officer. Okay.
Mr. DeMoss, would
Yes.
you and your wife clear out your phone, the messages, so that we can get a hold of you? The other day when we were up there?
I just switched phones and we're trying to get everything back into mine.
Okay, your mailbox and your wife's mailbox was full, and we
Yeah,
couldn't get
that was-
hold
that
of you
was-
because of the water.
That was my old phone, and like I say, I just switched over to.
Okay, that just caused my.
Mine was starting to go dead, and just so happens I had a friend who was very close. He went to another system, and he gave me a really, really nice phone, an iPhone 8.
Okay, can you make sure that Barbara has her number?
It's the same number. It's just another phone. So I'm hoping that with, what I've had to say tonight, that, we can continue working together. But like I say, because of the things that he has done in those certifications, I will never answer to that.
Well, you've got a person there, Mr. Meter, that's gonna help you, so that's a good thing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Gary?
Yes.
The vehicles that are on the road right away?
The one ton belongs to me.
Right.
I went to take and buy the other one, and I started buying it, and my stepson, Darren, was working for Pete's Garage, who we got it from, and so he wanted it, so he finished paying it off. I'm going to look, maybe this man here can help me move. I've cleared off the side of the garage and along where my new garage is gonna be. I wanna pull them up off the road and put them on my property.
Okay.
I'll go bitch about those two.
Okay.
One more thing, the heading on the letter is the town of Lynn.
Yeah.
Have you tried to contact the town office?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you please do so?
Partially due to my ending up, with this COVID that I ended up dealing with for the last almost 3.5 weeks. I was in no condition. I didn't want to take and end up with a possibly a pissing match between me and anybody on the council. Okay, that I will apologize for.
Okay. I'd appreciate it because there is the factor of communication.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Well, like I say,
two-way street.
I will take, I don't have any problem addressing anybody that's sitting on the council, the mayor, or Barbara. Matter of fact, I went and asked for a freedom of information. I gave it to Barbara today, so. If you're satisfied with that, let's go for it, people.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, thank you.
What
Can
about
I
number
ask a
4?
question about that? Like, how do we decide, like, when Henry's doing these, how do we decide who he goes and addresses? Because I know, like I said, I've been here 30 years, and I can personally say that there's a resident that lived down from me from my old house that has multiple, trashy stuff going on in their yard, and I feel like sometimes the only people that ever get pursued are the people that you can actually affect with the consequences, right? So, like the people that are getting in trouble are the ones that actually care, because those people have been addressed, I know, time and time and time again. So how do we decide who's getting, like, pursued on this?
I went through the whole town and looked for code violations. Studied, watched, and then wrote letters to all the parties, 83 of them, to all the parties, stating that you're in code violation, please try to clean up your yard, communicate with the town what your plans are. 35% have, and we're working with them. The other ones don't reply.
Nobody's obligated to reply to you.
To the town,
2 of my 3 violations were not accurate. My chickens didn't put a change of address in, and he sent me a letter for it, because they lived there in 2016. So he's been paid enough.
Okay, guys,
He
we're
was
not
paid
gonna
enough
end.
to sit in that office and read enough from 2016 on to find out past, but because my chickens didn't put a change of address in, he sent me a letter on that. And because my letters on my house were not black,
They were not
Send me a letter to
visible
that.
because of the trailer and
Because I
cars
had
and
gold
stuff.
letters on my blue house, I got a letter on that.
Well, the whole point
And
of the
so-
numbering,
so
Chris,
three,
is so that we
two
can
of the
find
three
you in
violations.
an ambulance. That was the only thing.
The ambulance
that-
made it to my house.
Okay.
He's the only one that can't see the letters.
Okay, all right.
So I took a picture of them to show him.
And I remember that.
Yes, and then as far as the Main Street address, when I addressed that with him, I told him that the city owns an 80-foot stretch in the center of that property. As soon as the city mows and makes it how they want it, I will do the 28 lots combination on both sides. I have not seen a lawnmower out on that neighborhood. No offense to the city workers, but he is not
It's kind of
pushed,
dry.
he has followed, he has not pushed any policy on your employees. So why is he dictating what I have to do when my neighbor is not made to do it? The school is not told to do it. The city does not do it on their roadways. But yet he's addressing my address that has to be mowed and maintained to a level above what you keep yourself at. So I'm trying to figure that out, because if you're down here at this level, why am I having to be up here? I mean, I'm just trying to figure that out, because when I addressed that with him, that's the reason why he did spray foam retaining wall at his house. Because his retaining wall was falling into the city street, and I asked him if he signed it himself.
And he did.
So did he get a permit? You like asking for permits on everything.
It's a repair, it's not a new one. When I put the new wall in, I get.
Oh, but it's an alteration.
It's an alteration.
It's not an alteration, it's a repair.
It is a alteration.
It's a very, just, that's part of my question on who gets to play dictator on the water, because when you hire somebody that gets to play dictator on a weed issue, or a brush issue, or a rock out of place, if he's the same one that gets to say, well, your water gets turned off now, are you willing to,
No, that would be the council's decision.
okay, well, but you already said that you didn't involve them with the letters.
No. That first one, they did not. That is true.
Okay, well, so you've
But
already
that-
stated that there's some things that don't matter. Right?
Seems to be a certified by the people.
I don't know how you're
Okay.
going to
So
vote
doesn't
your
the mayor have authority?
Henry, Henry, you're not gonna yell over me. Henry, what else do you need?
What, the only other thing for Mr. DeMoss would be number 4 on the paper. That hasn't been addressed.
What are you talking about? The
People living in the trailers,
And I addressed that a
and.
month and a half ago, and I told you to go pound sand. It's exactly what I said. You cannot take and force people
Okay, so
out
that's your
onto the
answer.
street.
Mr. DeMoss, that's your answer?
That's my answer.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, you can't, I addressed the council with it. You can't force people into homelessness.
Okay.
Okay, so can I just say one thing? I feel sorry for Henry because he was hired into this position because the mayor didn't want to act on enforcing these codes, so let's not necessarily like attack him for it. Because he was hired into a position that clearly in other towns like mayors and time before when we had every other mayor, they enforce and have the ability to enforce codes and regulations. So maybe don't like take it out on him personally because he's just acting for her.
I can
He
put
doesn't
that
have
out.
the authority to have no certification.
She's just making a comment, okay? She's making a comment. There you go.
That's responsible, if that makes sense.
Make sure you put pound sand in those.
Yeah. Henry, is there anything else?
Well, I guess we will table that one for now, since Mr. DeMoss is going to work on it.
Progress.
Okay, the last is the list of houses that have been sent a courtesy letter stating that they haven't replied to any of the previous enforcement letters. Okay, and these letters were sent out, and the people have until September 12th to reply to us, to tell us what they're gonna do. And if they don't, then you, as the council, have the ability to write out civil infractions notice to abate at that time. and then they have time to reply, go to a hearing why or why not, or the town can do a resolution depending on what the town attorney wants to do. I mean, all I'm trying to do is clean the junkyards up there all throughout the town. It'll improve everybody else's property values.
You're not gonna improve these property values by getting rid of some cars, dude. And
Well,
you're calling out lines
Excuse
of
me,
vehicles every fucking one of them.
excuse me. Hey, your language.
Needs to be cleaned up.
What, Amy?
Ask who the city attorney would be.
I didn't hear what you first said.
Can I ask who the city attorney is?
Yes,
Is that
it's,
public knowledge?
yeah, it's Larson Fowles,
Okay.
Mitchell Heaps.
but you don't, he's not gonna answer your phone call, so.
Yeah, no, I don't want to call, no.
Okay.
I don't want to.
So, Henry, is there anything
Yeah, I
else
just got it.
with these others?
Well, the first two,
Okay,
you know, are at the attorney's, and he will tell us what to do, and
okay.
maybe we'll have a reply by the next council meeting, that's all. That was just information on the ones that you've already signed.
Mumble, we can't hear. Sorry, Henry. Okay, council, do you have any questions? Okay.
Not on that subject.
Okay, moving on, new business, Diane Kennedy. Okay, council, she's asking, or requesting the town of Lynn to allow her to hold an event called Adams County Harvest Festival, which is a celebration for the farmers of Adams County. And for the new council members, the reason why the date is like this far ahead is the previous, she was caught between a time crunch of getting things approved. So that's why she's turning it in this time. So the date I would like permission for is October 7th of 2023. The events will consist of vendors. I want to try a parade, a bed race, where towns in Adams County compete against each other, a band, and a beer garden. She says that I have Forrest Lee Jr. flying up from Nashville to do the beer garden show for me. All I am asking is for your approval to have the festival, so I can start planning it. I will inform the council of my progress. I already have a special permit for the beer garden on hold from canceling the event because of COVID. Thank you, Diane Kennedy. So council, I'm assuming that she's gonna have to provide the same listing of insurance proof, liquor license, whatever employees, bartender license,
Security.
the street barricade security, enforcing, I wrote down enforcing personnel. And do you want to give her back a deadline to get back to you?
Okay, we're talking about October 7th of next year.
Yeah, she's talking over a year away, so.
I understand that. Last time we had a problem because she wasn't able to get all her trucks on the road, so to speak. But we did get it done. With the caveat that she provides the proof of insurance and the other things that I mentioned, I would suggest at this time that prior to the end of this year, which gives her 4 months.
Okay.
If that's agreeable with everybody else in the council. Just, let her know, with those things in place, go for it.
Okay. Do you want to give her advanced permission before that or after she brings